What's up, YouTube? Giving y'all here another video on the G35. As y'all see, it's finally time to start getting back on this Vq35 engine. As y'all see, I now got the crank. I got the rods for it now. As y'all already know, I had the pistons and all the gaskets and bearings and all of that stuff first from the initial video or the initial series of this when I first started this. I bought the parts earlier this year, but the other parts are the only thing that's came from different companies so far was the rods. They're from CX Racing. I've heard good things about CX Racing, that a lot of the Honda guys use them and they're actually good rods. So I actually got them for the VQ. Are the VQ rods any good? Couldn't find any research on that, but or I couldn't find anything when I was researching that. But I'm going to test them out and we're going to see if they're better than the stock ones, which they look beefy. They look beefier than, like, compared to one of the normal rods over here. And oh, well, it's crazy. I grabbed the one that has the damage done to it, the spun rod. This was the one that basically caused the issue right here. Y'all can see yeah, that's a piece of the bearing still stuck to the rod, so that's the reason why I had to get a new rod. But yeah, we got these rods compared to this. That's a lot more, like, from the side you can even see, like, it's a lot beefier than that. It's a little bit more beefier than that. So I'm gonna put this back. We're gonna test out these CX Racing rods, make sure they're going to be fine to run in the build. They are still up to stock specs, so I should be able to run them. I do have like I said, all gaskets, bearings, pistons. This crank, I bought this on eBay. This was another thing that came from a different company. This came from, I can't remember the company. I'm going to just throw it straight on the screen, but they basically specialize in remanufacturing cranks. So I bought it from them, and I haven't opened this up because there is a little small coating of oil in there. You probably ain't picking it up on the camera, but I want it to stay on there so that way it doesn't rust or none of that. But looking from the outside, it actually looks very, very good. Looks very good. I haven't seen any marks on them, gouges or anything on any of those. Where the rod go right here, I can't think of the actual name of that, what that's actually called, but haven't seen anything messed up with that. I'm waiting on the timing kit with the oil pump to come. That's supposed to come in a few days, and once that comes, then I'll show y'all that. But in this video, we're going to be working on cleaning up this engine block, organizing the parts, getting rid of what we have basically what we're going to be replacing, and might even get to cleaning up the engine bay. I really want to get to cleaning up the engine bay and cleaning out the G35 in general. But our main focus is to clean up this block, so I got to get it off of here so I can get this flywheel off. I didn't think of taking that off before I put it on the engine stand, so that's why it's still on here. Got to take the flywheel off, got to take the crank out still. I have some degreaser that I'm going to use and basically spray on the block. I have to take the engine mounts are still on here too. I had to take those off as well, but go and spray some degreaser, agitate it, then probably spray it down with some water. I'm going to clean up some other parts as well. But yeah, guys, I still had to get a engine deglazing tool. I've done a ton of research on it, and because I'm just doing a basic overhaul on the engine, there was nothing wrong with my cylinder sleeves or any of that. I should be fine with using that tool, so I'm going to use that tool. As far as taking this to a machine shop and all that, I don't think I should have to, because this engine has never overheated on me at all, ever. And I know it does heat hot, cold, but it feels kind of flat to me, and I'm trying to just keep this build budget enough. I feel like I'll be fine without sending it to a machine shop to get it all done. But if I do, like I said, the end goal for the G35 anyways is to put an LS in it. I don't need this engine to last forever after this. I just want it to at least last for 8 months to a year. 8 months to a year is all I really want out of this engine after that. But Alright guys, I've been cleaning it so far, and this is what this side is looking like, and it's looking a whole lot better than what it first started out as. And I could flip it around and show y'all the other side, because it basically looked just like the other side, but all I used was this purple power degreaser from Dollar General, and I bought like a toilet bowl brush right along with it, and that's basically what I've been doing, just scrubbing and spraying. And I had this spray bottle right here. This is just water. This is an old tire wet bottle, but I just filled it up with hot water, and this is what I was using to like spray afterwards, because I didn't want to hook up the pressure washer right now and just start getting water and all of that right everywhere. It's raining out, and I would have to be in the garage, and I just didn't feel like being soaking wet, so I just did it that way. But I'm about to flip it around for y'all so y'all can see how the other side is, so I can compare before and after basically. Alright y'all, this is pretty much what it looked like on the other side. You know, there wasn't oil everywhere like this area on the other side. There wasn't that much oil inside there, but there was just about the same amount of oil built up in the general areas on the other side. And as y'all can see, even like compared to this side of the upper oil pan where it would bolt at, compared to this side right here where I didn't even touch yet, y'all can see that stuff really did a real good job on cleaning this up. So I definitely would recommend this if you're on a budget like I am with doing this. It only cost me basically like $6 or $7 for all of this all together, and water's free. So alright guys, here's where we're at with the engine. I didn't get too much of the cleaning on camera because it took me over a course of 3 days of actually getting it this clean, guys. Like, this is nothing but elbow grease and just purple power. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna show y'all real quick. I think it's right here. Here, I bought this toilet bowl brush right here. This is what I use for it, and the purple power right here. This is what I use to clean the block, not the cylinder walls or none of that with, but this is what I use to clean the block with. I use this and this little toilet bowl brush right here. That's what I clean the entire outside with. I used it to scrape some of the gasket off on all of this over here with the water pump, basically where the rear timing chain cover would be. Let me show y'all the other side real quick. I still have to do the timing cover, but I'm going to do all that separately. But yeah, here's this side right here. I can actually see letters and numbers that's on the block now. This is what the inside is looking like. I'm not going to go too crazy with cleaning up inside here because I really don't think it really needs to be that much. It's not going to be seen pretty much, but as y'all see, I got where the bearings go cleaned up, all of this stuff. This is just like, I had to put some it looks rusty, but it's not. That's just dried. The oil is dried up because I had some parts cleaner on this. Basically, that's what I used to clean like all up here, and some of it dripped down there, so you know that stuff dries it out. So but I'm gonna basically wipe this completely down with a cloth, make sure there's no type of debris or anything anywhere, and we're about to start assembling this. Basically, we're not going to do it all in this one video, but we're going to get to basically to a stopping point to where basically if I need something extra or anything, or if I need to wait on a special tool or anything. But I'm going to work on trying to get in the crank in here, rear main seal, and actually I'm going to have the I have the rod bolts on the way, as well as the timing kit. So hopefully it gets here within the next day or two, so way we can at least put the pistons and rods together and the crank together in here, so it can start looking like an engine again. But yeah guys, and what I use to clean the cylinders, I use a method like that that guys that build bikes and all of that. I really don't see what's different from like a bike engine from a normal engine. I could be hurting with what I did to the block, but I honestly don't see any type of issue with what I did. I basically used like some automatic transmission fluid and like some basically parts cleaner. I did my thorough research on it, and I found out it would be fine. And I used different grades of Scotch-Brite on the inside of the cylinder because I didn't want to use a honing tool and go too crazy with it and basically bore the cylinder out more than what it needs to be, because I'm putting all standard stuff back in here. But as y'all see, I pretty much did a good job with all that. Like, the cylinders are completely clean. There's nothing wrong with the cylinder walls or none of that. But yeah, that's what I use basically. Like I said, brake parts cleaner. I had this. This is what I basically use with the green one that I have on the floor right there, and that's how I clean this whole entire inside out. But I'm going to stop talking. All right, guys, let me show y'all where I'm at. The reason I don't have the tripod set up is because I'm having to use my phone to refer back to some things, putting this all back together because I have some notes in my phone. But yeah, right now I have the crank in here. I have the bearings, the bearings that are under the crank, the engine bearings in there. I have the end caps right there. I'm about to get ready to put the bearings in there. I'm using this as assembly lube for now. This should be fine. This is thicker than normal oil. But yeah, it's coming along so far, and if I come into any problems, y'all know I will let y'all know and all that as we're going through this. But I just can't wait, man, to get this completely put back together so we can all see and hear if I did a good job on this engine. So right now, what I'm about to do, I'm about to, like I said, take these old bearings out of these end caps, put the new ones in, and put these new thrust washers in. I have the other new thrust washers in there too. But yeah, let me put these together and then we're gonna see what it all looks like going back together. All right, guys, starting to look like an engine again a little bit. We got the crank in here, we got these main bearing caps in here, and we have the bearings in here, thrust washers in here. I'm getting ready to grab the girdle, all of the bolts for the girdle, and then I'm going to set the tripod. Y'all can see me tighten those in there. I'm not going to go too crazy with tightening them because I don't have a torque wrench right now, so I'm just going to snug them in there, and then I'm going to grab a torque wrench later on the day, and I'm going to come back in here and we're going to torque these down, and then start prepping basically to get the rods and the pistons put in here. And pretty soon, before you know it, we'll be throwing the whole engine back together. If anybody's ever wondering what this socket size is, if it focuses here, it's an E14. It's basically a female torque socket. If the camera will focus, yeah, there we go. E14. I got this from Advanced Auto for like, $6-7, but definitely going to need this because that's what size the main bolt size is in these. Alright guys, as y'all just seen, I got this main basically hand tight all the way around, all 16 bolts in the correct tightening sequence. I'm going to get me a torque wrench later, but the next thing would be to start getting the pistons and rods ready to basically attach to the crank. So far, guys, we are doing absolutely great. I'm going to double and triple check my work all the way up to this point, make sure I didn't forget or leave out anything. As y'all seen there, I did pull out this hang manual. I definitely recommend y'all getting this. Because this has all the information you would need for any vehicle that you're going to be doing an engine teardown on. But like I said, I'm about to pull out the pistons and rods, set those up on the table right there, and we're going to see what we need to do to put all of those together. Okay guys, as y'all see, I have the pistons and rods and piston rings all laid out here on the table, and we're going to get ready to start assembling those here. I'm going to briefly look in that manual to see how you put these together. I also kept 2 of the old pistons just to have a reference to look at to make sure I'm putting things together the right way. Only kept 2 of them because this one I'm going to keep as a souvenir because this is the one that spun the bearing. But this one is more or less for the reference since this one's in complete good shape. Yeah guys, I'm about to get ready to set this tripod up somewhere and we're going to start putting these together. Real quick before I put them together, I thought I'd just show y'all what they look like side by side. Show y'all even more how much similar they really look. But let me get to putting these together and so that way we can see what all this looks like. Alright guys, I have the rod with the piston put together, but it's not completely together. I didn't put no rings on yet. I still had to go pick up the piston ring pliers and the compression tool. But this is what it looks like compared to the OEM piston, and weight difference is literally crazy. I really wish I had a scale to throw this stuff on so that way y'all can see the actual numbers of what the difference is. But this compared to this right here is a whole lot heavier than this. So that's definitely an upgrade for this Vq35de. I'm still waiting on the bolts for these rods here, and I'm still waiting on the timing kit to come. They should be here at any moment. If not today, they might be here tomorrow or at some point this week. Once I get the bolts for that, we'll be able to throw these rods and pistons in there. But later on today, I'm going to go get a piston ring compression tool, piston ring pliers, and a torque wrench, so that way we can at least torque these up and get these pistons ready to be dropped in basically. So I'm going to put these together off camera only because I don't have no snap ring pliers, and I just fought for like a good 20 minutes just trying to get these snap rings inside here. They're in there and they're perfectly fine, but man, definitely fought with it. But I'm going to work on getting those together, and I'll show y'all what they look like once they're all together. Alright guys, I have 3 of them done right here. As y'all can see, I have rings on one of them, just a few of the rings. It only needs 1 more. And also I'm about to go grab the torque wrench, piston compression tool, and piston ring pliers so I can finish putting the rings on there. And then before you know it, we'll be throwing the pistons inside the engine, seeing how they look, making sure everything's going to be good and fine and dandy and all of that. But man, doing this without snap ring pliers, I'm also about to get a pair of those. Man, it has my back hurting because I've been like hunched over this table right here just putting them together for like the past like hour or 2. And man, definitely has my back hurting, but it's going to be worth it in the end. I feel like it's all going to be worth it in the end. Let me go grab those tools and then we'll be back. Alright guys, we're finally back after basically a week after I got the bolts, the CX Racing rod bolts over here. Right here, I put all the pistons together. I'm in the midst of putting the piston rings on right now. I did put 2 of the pistons and rods in there. They just need to be torqued down. They're just snug in there. I'm going to torque those down here in a second. I did pick up some snap ring pliers, which I don't know where those are sitting at. And I did pick up this torque adapter right here for my ratchet, so that way I can be able to torque everything down to spec. And this thing is pretty handy. This is only like $38 at Harbor Freight, so I definitely recommend, if anybody needs a torque wrench for cheap, definitely get one of these because you can use any ratchet you want with it. This is the 3/8 drive one. They do have a 3/4 or a 1/2 inch drive. They have the 1/2 inch drive one, which I believe is like $50 or $55, but that's the 3/8 one, and that's what I've been using so far. I did get more stuff for the VQ in the mail. Here go the new head bolts over here. Move these piston rings out the way. I have the new Rev Up oil pump in this box right here. Genuine Nissan part. I have the water pump timing chain kit over there, and I have a OEM oil pump over here that I'm most likely going to sell because I'm not going to be using it. I have the Y pipe. I have the Y pipe over here, I didn't open it yet because y'all see the ridiculous amount of tape that's on there. I'm also waiting on the exhaust to be delivered today. So if it gets delivered today before I finish recording, I'll show y'all that. I got a Megan Racing OE-RS exhaust, so I'm going to show y'all that. I'm going to be putting that on the G35, and I'm also think the headers should be here. I went with OEM style headers. I was going to get DC Sports, but like I said, I was getting a little bit over the budget with this, so I just went with OEM headers on this. But other than that, guys, I'm going to get to putting these piston rings together. I will hook up the tripod again, but I only have like 40 minutes left of recording because I've done recorded, taking so many pictures as I've been basically starting this engine build. So I'm going to have a lot of editing to do, guys. So I'm going to basically update y'all through how I usually do. And I'm going to try to show y'all as much as I'm doing. But keep in mind, guys, this is my first engine build, so I know everything ain't going to be perfect. One thing I would say is y'all could refer to this video for the parts that I'm using, but I would not refer to this video as if you're really trying to figure out how to redo this stuff, because this is my first time ever doing an engine build. And I know there's probably a lot of huge no-nos that I'm doing, but I'm learning, so we'll see if this engine runs. I think it's going to run once it's done, but let me stop talking, guys, and get these piston rings together and get these last 4 in here. Alright, guys, as y'all can see, we got the complete rotating assembly put together. Shout out to my dad for helping me do this, because had he not came down here and helped me, I would have been doing this all night. I was having all type of difficulties with that Harbor Freight tool right there, man. And like I could say, thank you, Dad, for helping me put this together. But as y'all see, we got it all put together. I'm gonna spin it for y'all real quick so y'all can see. It spins freely, like literally I'm putting no pressure on this, but I'm not gonna spin it too much because I don't want to mess anything up. But as y'all see, everything's all torqued down on the lower part too. All the rods, main, everything's all torqued down. Everything has a coat of oil over it. As y'all see, it's dripping off. Everything has a coat of oil on it. Next thing after this video, we're going to be working on putting the timing and the heads on. Once I get to that point, like I said, I'm thinking about ordering cams for this. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to make a decision very soon on that. But I did get the exhaust in today, guys. It did just come. Megan Racing, as y'all can see. I'm going to open this up here for a second so y'all can see what it basically what I got. Alright, guys, showing y'all the exhaust. I'm not going to completely open up anything yet. Y'all will see that in the next video when we come back on the G35 when it's time to do timing in the heads. But I can at least show y'all this part of it. But we got the OE-RS Megan Racing exhaust. That's what I chose. I think I paid like $4.90 for this. This is the muffler it came with, and it's a dual tip muffler, as y'all can see. I like the dual tip muffler, single dual tip muffler look. That's my favorite look when it comes to these cars. I have the OEM headers right here. OEM headers, like I said, I don't want to have it too loud or too raspy and all that. So, and also, like I said, the DC Sports headers and all that, it was just out of my budget. So we got OEM headers to go back on here. And right here is the resonator for that RS, the Megan Racing OE-RS exhaust for this. So I can't wait to put all this up on the car, guys, see how it sounds once we're done with the engine build. So y'all definitely have to stay tuned for that. But I'm gonna have to end it off right here, guys, because as y'all can see, I have a big mess in here. I have parts everywhere. I want to straighten up, organize before I start doing the timing and putting the heads all on here. But as I always say, guys, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next video. Alright, guys, before I let the video go, most of you guys who probably build engines on a daily basis know I did one thing wrong. And what that one thing was I had these pistons oriented on this side in the wrong direction. If y'all look closely back at the video once I was done, all of these pistons, this dot right here was facing towards the back of the engine. All 3 of them on this side. So excuse me, but I've just now put them the right way. So now we're smooth sailing once again, ready to put heads and timing on. just wanted to let y'all know I did correct that, so that way I don't leave y'all off on a cliffhanger thinking, is he going to fix it, is he going to notice it, this and that. Just wanted to show y'all basically I did fix it.